What is going on, all you amazing YouTube subscribers and viewers? I'm super excited to almost bring this project to a completion here. If you've been keeping track of the playlist, well, if not, it is in the description below. Go down there, click that playlist, and you'll be able to see all of the steps and videos leading up to this point. Now, as you can see here, we do have the Sylveon Pokemon painting completed. It is an absolute blast to be able to finish up this painting as far as a varnish layer. Yes, we're going to apply a layer of varnish over this painting, both the front and the back, before I apply hardware to it, and then it is ready to be hung, or well, actually it's going to be given to my daughter for Christmas of 2023. Super excited for that. Now, as you can see here, the painting looks absolutely stunning in every single way. It looks very vibrant in all ways, green and pinks and so forth. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use Liquitex Satin, and we're going to apply a few layers of this. I love this satin varnish. It looks absolutely phenomenal. It is super easy to apply, you guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use, or I like to use, something to kind of prop the painting up off my work surface here. So what I'll do is I'll try to pick something the right size to where the wood frame can kind of sit down on it. Now, this is a Master Touch Deep Well canvas. I like to call it Deep Well canvas, but it's about an inch deep in overall thickness. I really do like these canvases overall. I think they give a lot of dimension to the overall canvases. I'm not knocking panels or anything like that, but I do really like these. What we're going to do here is we're going to use a little small fan brush, kind of a medium-sized fan brush, to apply this varnish. I usually kind of like to switch it up when I do apply my varnish layers, so that way you get to see all sorts of different ways of applying it. Maybe next time I'll even use a glove and a finger or something to apply, just to kind of switch things up a bit. If you would like to see the Liquitex overall playlist, I do have one of those in the on my channel as well. You can go down to products on the home page, and you will see the product playlist for Liquitex. I do show the most part all of the Liquitex varnish videos that I have for my paintings as I make those, and then you can see each piece of artwork individually. As you can see, I am going to produce this video in real time, so you'll be able to kind of keep track and see how long it takes me just to apply each individual layer. Now, what I plan to do is we're going to do one full layer on the front, a nice general layer, kind of thin, not too thick, and then what we'll do is we'll let that dry overnight, and the next day what we'll do is we will do the back. And then the final coat will be, of course, across the front once more. Now, that final coat, which will be the second coat, will be slightly, well, I would say slightly, much thicker than the first. I'm going to try to apply a flood coat. I usually don't do flood coats with varnish. I usually apply like a very thin layer. I wanted to try a good flood coat, and it turned out phenomenal. So here it is. I'm just kind of smoothing that varnish around on the top of the canvas there. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't puddle anyway, and I'm kind of like taking those puddles that are on the top part of the canvas there, and I'm just kind of cascading those down to the outside edges of the canvas there, the sides. That way I don't get any drips across the sides and then onto the bottom or the back of the canvas. I've done that in the past, and I don't like those drips. Even though you can't really see them, you never really notice them once you varnish the back. I really just don't like those there. And if I can avoid those, then why not try to? So this is a very thin layer. Once you pull the varnish over and onto the sides, then you can kind of see that it's really thin layers on the sides for the first coat. Nice broad strokes here all the way across, just to kind of make sure I don't miss any spots, make sure there's no bare spots, so that way I don't have any kind of places I need to fill in intentionally later. Just trying to get even coatage overall, and then let the varnish settle on its own. Now, if you continuously work it, then yes, you can kind of get some pooling or some caking on the brush, and then you can get kind of smears in the varnish. You don't want it to set up before you get done putting it where you want it to be. That's the only thing that you want to make sure of. Just get the varnish where you need it to be, let the varnish self-level a little bit, and then just move on. If you feel like it's uneven, don't keep on working on it. Stop what you're doing, let it set up, and then just come back and fix it with the next coat. So as you can see, it gives us a really good finish. That's just one coat. There's hardly any out of the bottle. I've been using the same, like, I think it's an 8 ounce or something. I can't remember. A little bottle for quite a few paintings. I think I've done probably about 10 paintings overall with the same bottle, and I'm not even all the way through it yet, so got a little ways to go. So here we are in the second day here. Now, as you can see, we did do the charcoal and graphite sketch on the back of the canvas, as I'm trying to do for most paintings here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and apply a varnish layer to that one as well. As you can see, it looks phenomenal. You can see what it looks like all dried up. Now, I hope my daughter doesn't mind. I'm going to use a piece of her artwork here just to put underneath the painting there, so it's not making kind of raw contact with that stainless steel kind of plate that I'm using. We're just going to go ahead and let it set there lightly. Now, if you were to leave this overnight, if it is a large canvas, you would need to make sure that you're not creating like an indentation in the canvas. You know, like something like a small dish or something, or a bowl. Use something that gives a lot of surface area when you lay your painting down. I believe later on in the third layer, I also lay an actual towel down on the actual workstation here, and then I just lay it down so it doesn't get any scratches or nicks or dings in the existing varnish. I'm not saying that's not tough. It's a tough varnish. It really does protect it quite well, but I'm not going to go out of my way to lay it on like a dirty surface like my workstation and risk getting glitter or something on it that I have to fight to get off or things like that. So we're going to go ahead and lay it onto the outside edges of the frame there. I am going to paint my varnish onto the frame as well. It does not hurt it in any way. If anything, I believe that it brings out a little bit of the wood grain, if even just a little bit. It's kind of like putting like just a natural like a finish on just a piece of pine board. I really do think it looks good, and I really don't mind it going over the outside edges. I also wrote in marker the name of the painting, the date, the time, and my artist name. In just straight script there by hand, and I also varnished that as well, so that if somebody were to get this, it's even harder to remove that, and that way they can't just resell it with their name, or you know how people are. So we're just going to apply a thin layer to that outside edge, and then what we'll do is I'll actually pour the varnish onto the face of the Sylveon itself. I think this is an absolute adorable little sketch that I was able to create. Now, these sketches are limited to 1 hour each, and you will find that in the Sylveon playlist there on my YouTube channel. Like I said before, you may find that either at the very end of this video, you can click that and then join that playlist, or you can go ahead and go to the description below and jump over to that, and then you would be looped back around to this video towards the end of that playlist. So as you can see here, I am applying the varnish directly to my brush and just kind of like applying it where I think it needs a little bit of extra. Sometimes you have to get down at an angle just to see the glare of the pores of the canvas where it's kind of rolled over the back of the frame there. So you're just going to apply it where you feel like there's a little bit more need to. Now, I do actually apply a little bit too much here, but I can just kind of like just distribute it around, make sure it gets up under the frames of the canvas there, and then just let it do its thing. I know a lot of artists are probably looking at this and they're thinking, man, you applied gesso to the back of the canvas, you did a sketch, oh, you put varnish on the back, you're damaging the canvas, oh no, oh dear. Do what you want to do. All I'm saying is this is what I enjoy doing. It challenges me to get out and sketch more. Not with just pencils and markers, but actual charcoal, and I'm really enjoying doing so. And I don't think it lessens the overall quality of the canvas itself in any way. I still believe that the canvas is breathable. It can kind of move back and forth. It's not absolutely stiff in any way, so it still has some give to it when you push on the front of the canvas. It's not like it's locked in position forever and evers. I just think that because this is a gift, a lot of my paintings, I picture them as gifts from me to you, the purchaser, or if I'm really gifting it away as a holiday present or a birthday present, then I just want it to be more personalized, and this is the way I like to do it. Hope you guys understand that. If anybody else likes to do little sketches on the back of their canvas, let me know in the comments. Do you like to do that? What do you do for your processes? It's interesting to see what kind of other artists do the same thing or similar processes. And if you're new to art and you're wanting to try something out, let me know in the comments below. Would you like to see even more basic type of drawing or sketching? Would you like to see even more basic paintings? Do you want to see more advanced techniques? Again, I'm not professionally trained. I am just enjoying my craft and the process of learning as I go. And if it's something that I don't know how to do, then I'm going to go out of my way to learn how to do it. But leave in the comments below, what would you guys like to see? More advanced or more beginner stuff? Alrighty, so this is where we're at now. This is the third day, and the back of the canvas is completely cured. And now what we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into the next coat here. Now, as you can see, we're running into a longer segment here. This is a flood coat. This is going to be very, very thick, and it's going to look very, very thick. And what we'll do is we'll be able to get a nice visual highlight of how thick this is towards the end of this portion of the video here. So I guess this would be phase number 3 of 3. So as you can see, I'll go ahead and apply quite a bit of Liquitex varnish there. And I'm just using the same fan brush, and we're just going to go ahead and kind of move it around just to make sure I get full even coverage overall. You can really see there with the glare how it is when it kind of covers. There's a part around the foot where it's not covered, and then here in a moment you're going to see me go over that, and it just really glazes it over, brings those colors to life even more so. It's just like spray painting it with like a clear spray paint in a way. Just brings those colors forward. This is another great technique that a lot of acrylic artists will use to make their acrylics look more so like oils. It really brings out the richness of the colors. It kind of brings kind of like a more of an oily type of texture, like a glazed look to the acrylics instead of more so of a flat look. And I think that's really great. So if you don't varnish your paintings, even if it's something that you're just practicing on, just think about the varnish as practicing too. Why not just even varnish the little smallest canvases that you really don't even care about? That way you can completely practice all of the steps of your trade. And really just push your skills to the next level. Every time I varnish a painting, even whether it's small, medium, or large, I'm getting better and better at it. Now, I will say that I do prefer to lean towards the satin varnish from Liquitex. However, there are a lot of varnishes out there that you can use, other brands and things like that. And I am not sponsored at this time by Liquitex. Hint, hint. But if I ever am, then I will, of course, bridge into some of the other varnishes that they do produce in different ways. And then I'll try to like accent those on particular paintings. Going across the sides as well, again, making sure that I don't have any drips is very important here. And I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that I kind of brush the fan brush across the bottom rounded lip of the canvas. That way there's no drips there. If there were, then the fan brush would catch those and smooth them out, and then they would just disappear. Even when a drip does occur, I did do a little small video on my tips and tricks playlist where I just described, I had dripping issues on one of the paintings, and I was able to remedy that a little bit by applying a varnish layer to the back of the canvas like I did with just a moment ago in phase number 2 of this video. But it was still kind of noticeable, but unless you're looking at the back of the canvas, you really don't see those drip marks. And they did dry pretty clear overall. The satin, it has a little bit of a film texture to it when it kind of cakes on really, really thick and drip-like format. And it takes longer for that water in the water liquid in the Liquitex to dry out. Here you can see how much of a flood coat that is. Look how glazed that is. It's a very, very thick layer, but it doesn't seem like I poured that much on there, right? But I did. It is quite a bit of varnish there. Now we are into day number 4. Like I said, I don't like to rush through this process. It's a very nice, smooth process. And then here we are. Now I did put the towel down as I stated earlier that I would do. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these little mounting hardware. Okay, yes, I can hear the comments below. I can hear your thoughts. Man, those are some big mounting hardwares. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it in the comments. I know it's coming. For those who didn't make it to this far of the video, or they skip this and then they just see the hinges at the very bottom, at the end of the video or something. Yes, these are the last of my mounting hardware of an entire pack. So I've used all of the smaller versions of like the kind of universal pack that I had. I think it came with 6 or 7 of them total. And I was able to do at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 paintings with those. But I used all the smaller ones, and I didn't feel like buying a whole new pack just to finish out this one painting before I went around and bought some more and finish out some paintings. So I went ahead and used what I had. It really doesn't matter. It gives the same overall mounting surface and mounting hardware aspect. It still holds it up against the wall. It's not loose. It's not wiggly. They're just bigger. That's all. I mean, it's no big deal. We're going to go ahead and loop the hanging wire in right there. I can't remember the old saying. Is it under, over, around, under, and then over? I can't remember. There's an old acronym for it. I know that some of the other artists here on YouTube also know that acronym. You can probably find that in one of their videos. That's no worries. And maybe I'll bring it back in another video as far as remembering. But more than anything, even if you were just to go around it 1 or 2 times and then loop it around the wire going across, that is completely okay for a canvas this size. Only when you get to really, really large, heavy framed canvases does it really matter. Now, just remember here, I'm showing you that the wire is not making contact with the top bar of the canvas. If it was, then it defeats the purpose. I could have just put like a little 2-nail like mounting frame hardware on the top of it, and I don't want that. I want to be able to adjust it and level it as I need to, and that's why we have the wire here. As you can see, that those 2 little brackets, of course, they are bigger than they're supposed to be, but it really does not matter, you guys. Don't stress over that. it does its job. And then again, this is a gift from my daughter, so it's literally going to be given to her during Christmas of 2023, and then it's literally going to be hung one room over in this house. So just be aware, it is not going anywhere unless my daughter decides to sell it later on down the road and make a little cash, which she probably could do if she wanted to. But then here we are, you guys. This thing looks absolutely awesome, and I think it is absolutely cutesy pootsy. Sylveon the Pokemon is absolutely great in every single way. My daughter did not know that I was making this. I'm sure she saw sneak peeks of it on my phone, like the editing content. And she may have seen it in the studio at one point or another, but she probably does not remember. I hope she doesn't remember. If she did, then she still has to wait till Christmas to receive it. As you can see, the varnish across the sides and the top and the back look phenomenal every way. You can really see as the light kind of cascades across the front of the canvas, there are no ridges, no drips, no pooling spots where it really catches, and it's all soft edges. There's no hard edges on this canvas, and you can also see that there's a little bit of glare on the outside edges of the back of the canvas. It's hard to pick that up with such a small surface area. And then you can see the varnish is also on the sides, bringing that wood a little bit to life. And then we have a nice one coat on the back of the canvas just to lock that charcoal that we used in that charcoal sketch into position. Again, you can find that under the Sylveon Pokemon playlist on my YouTube channel. Now, again, another call to action. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like this type of content. I am a multimedia type of artist. I don't stick to one thing. I'm doing tumblers, 3D prints. I do all sorts of foam work. I'm also doing dioramas and RC cars. I'm doing diorama cars, models, paintings, all sorts of stuff, guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next awesome playlist. Later, you guys.